What is going on, guys? Matt Downs with Daily Grind Fantasy Sports to help give you the edge for this NFL 12-game slate. Cannot wait to break it down. If you guys want to be entered into the $25 giveaway, please like, subscribe to the channel, and also comment your favorite prize pick after watching this video. If you guys are brand new to this channel, we provide both free and paid content for all daily fantasy sports across all sports. If you could please show your support by hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, and of course smashing that like button for all of our future NFL content. If you would like to know more about becoming a better DFS player and taking down that big GPP, head over to www.patreon.com/DGFantasy for more information. On Patreon, we give advanced cheat sheets for all DFS sports on Draftkings. These cheat sheets include updated projections, ownership, and our overall favorite plays from slate to slate. We take it a step further by teaching you how to play fantasy sports like a shark, by showing you where the best leverage spots are to put you in the best spots to take down tourneys. Also included is our private Discord chat where you get to talk over the slate with everyone, including our coaches, to help build your lineups. Now let's go ahead and dive right into this NFL slate. We'll be covering just prize pick content on this video. If you guys haven't already, please go sign up for Prize Picks. Enter the code DGF for a 100% match. Your first deposit up to $100. So $100 free dollars to mess with, to play with. And again, we are in an official partnership with Prize Picks, so it definitely helps support the channel. Feel free to go do that. We're going to be talking about the games that really matter in the NFL right now. Vegas odds aren't out yet. Nothing's out but projections on Prize Picks, and now is the best time to take advantage of some of these projections because me and Kevin were just talking about this. There seems to be some really off projections here to start. Right now, the Buffalo Bills and Miami have something to play for. The Cincinnati Bengals, I know they don't have anything to play for, but the Baltimore Ravens definitely do. So that game should be relatively competitive. And the same thing with Pittsburgh and the Browns. So we'll be covering the quarterbacks in that game. So let's go ahead and start talking about the skill position players, Kevin. Right now, right off the bat, we have Myles Gaskin here at a 14-point projection. What are your initial thoughts here?
My initial thought is over, Matt, if I had to pick. I mean, it's close. It is close. He hits right around that mark about every single game. Obviously came off a boom game against Las Vegas, but sans that game, he's usually right around that mark. But if I had to pick, I'd still say over.
I actually agree with that. Right now, our models have him predicting a 59% chance to go over, so I actually really like that projection. If you guys look in his previous contests, I'm actually going to pull them up here on the screen. He has absolutely been crushing it when he's the first guy up. He got a bulk of the carries, 14 attempts for 33.9 DraftKings points in his last outing. Was even targeted in the receiving game, and this should be a relatively high-scoring game against the Buffalo Bills. It's a pace-up spot for Myles Gaskin personally, so I really do like that projection to go over of 14 points. He has been absolutely crushing it. It seems like he is the bulk back, at least going forward, for the Miami Dolphins. Let's go ahead and talk about Stefan Diggs next on the list. What a freaking amazing game he had last night against, your New England Patriots. 19 points is his official projection. Does he repeat this performance against, I hate to say it, Kevin, a better defense in the Miami Dolphins?
You know, Matt, I will say, I don't know if it is a better secondary. I will say that.
I can agree with that.
I'll throw it out there. It still might be, but it's comparable. New England does have a good secondary. Denver has a good secondary. Pittsburgh has a good secondary, and he balled out on all those. Those are his last three games, balled out on all of them. Really hasn't had a problem too much this year. He's been matchup proof, so I like over. I mean, historically, earlier in the year, he was hanging around that 19 spot. That looks like I think it was his average. But if you just look at the last, 4 games, he's cleared it pretty easily. So I definitely think, he's moving on up to, a different tier of wide receiver right now. I mean, Not that he wasn't already there, but I mean, he's playing absolutely lights out. Josh Allen, absolutely lights out. I mean, they look amazing together.
The offense is probably a top 3 in the NFL at this point. So
I haven't looked at targets this year, but I would be hard pressed to think that Stefan Diggs isn't the top target share this year. I mean, I'm just looking 9, 13, 16, 8, 11, 12, 10, 10, 14, 13, 11. I mean, who has more targets than him this year?
Yeah, honestly, nobody. And I think, Kevin, the pace of this game is going to be dictated by the Miami Dolphins just in general. It seems like they either get in shootouts or they just completely shut down their opponent. And I had this comment to you before the video started. I said, is the Buffalo Bill offense matchup proof? And that's a great question. But again, against Miami, I don't know. It could lean either way. If they get into a shootout, I like all of these projections in general across the board. I think they're all very, very low, Kevin. I really do. Like Stefan Diggs at 19 points. points. If he was playing any other team, that projection's sitting around 22, 23 points.
I agree.
And then I'm not going to jump too far ahead here, but let's go ahead and take a look at Gaskin at 11 points. What are your thoughts here on Gaskin at 11?
I mean, he's still probably the number one passing option on that team, which gives me hope. I have not been super big on him this year, just as he's touchdown dependent. He won't hit that, unless he, gets a touchdown. I feel pretty confident in that. He's only hit that quote unquote price point, I think, one other time this year without a touchdown. So he definitely need a touchdown with him. That being said, he does get touchdowns. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, was it 6, 7 on the year, something like that.
Tua's been,
especially with Tua.
Yeah, it's great chemistry there.
Yep. We saw him look great against the Chiefs and the Bengals. So I don't know. That one's like closer to the line for me. I would probably, to be honest, go under, just because I don't like banking on people getting touchdowns unless it's Devontae Adams. I would assume most people have a better chance of not getting a touchdown than getting one.
Yeah.
And, especially at the tight end position. So I would definitely say if I had to pick, go under, but that one could just as easily go over.
Gaskin, I'm 50-50 on. I really am. I'm not confident in this projection, and either way, I'm going to avoid it completely. Like, if I'm taking a power play here, I'm not including him in the projection pool whatsoever. So I definitely am more confident in the next projection here. Cole Beasley at 11.5. You know how much I love Cole Beasley, just on the main slate in general for GPPs. But this projection, man, 11.5. I mean, we've been seeing him as of late with the the only exception being the last game where he dropped a complete dud. 11.5 is really, really low, especially if you're going to compare him to Stefan Diggs. There was a point on Prizepicks where Beasley was up there almost at Stefan Diggs' projection point, at around 15 to 16 points, and then went all the way back down to 11.5 points. I get it. All the wide receivers are back here, but if you think Stefan Diggs is going to have a good game, why the heck not with Cole Beasley? Cole Beasley is the wide receiver 2 on that team. I think that's very evident, and his target share, or not his target share, his snap share was still up last game. So with the very exception of last game, I still like this projection to go over of 11.5 points. I think this is the most confident I have on the entire Prizepicks pool. Our simulations give him a 64% chance to hit the over. What are your thoughts on Cole Beasley?
I mean, as long as he's not injured, Matt. I mean, I watched that game. He left the game late. He got banged up. It was so stupid. It's like they were smoking us. It's like, dude, that's why you don't have your starters in.
That's a good point.
That's why. What are you trying to prove? And it's just stupid. But other than that, I think he's, it's unclear about the injury right now. But other than that, I like him to hit the over as well, Matt. I mean, the target share's there. Even in certain times, there was actually a time he had 10 targets and 5 receptions, and didn't hit that number, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's definitely a slant guy.
Way to do that. Yeah, definitely a slant guy. He's going to play in that slot, and he's not going to get a lot of deep balls. But that being said, I definitely like what I'm seeing out of his target share out of the past X amount of games. I mean, from week 10 on, we're looking at 13, 4, 11, 10, 10, 5. I mean, that's very healthy.
Crazy.
Very, very healthy. So
for a wide
throw a touchdown there. He obviously smokes it.
Yeah.
Throw a couple, if he gets 6 catches, I mean, he's going to, again, have to go out of his way not to get that. So
yeah, I completely agree with that. Again, it's just that this offense is rolling, and again, when I have to pitch the question to you, are they matchup proof? You know that their wide receivers are set to have a great day. Even against a top tier defense, I think this will be competitive. So I think all their players will be relevant in this game on both sides of the ball. I really do like the Buffalo Bills. All these projections, they seem very, very low. If this game does happen to shoot out, which it definitely has a possibility to, I like all these projections being very, very low. All right, let's move on to the next game here. We have the Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals. Probably not as interesting of a matchup, but Marquis Brown at 12 points. Very iffy. He's been on a hot streak as of late. Still not, Stefan Diggs hot, but he's hot compared to what he's been doing. 12 points. What are your thoughts there?
As much as I know, Matt, I don't like touchdown dependency, and I don't like streakiness, especially out of wide receivers, which is it's a streaky position to begin with. I want to say the over on this, just because he's been doing pretty well against what I think is much better secondaries and defenses than the Bengals. Cleveland's a pretty good defense. Pitt's obviously a great defense. And, even the Giants are a low-key, sleeper, decent defense. And, he's been doing great. I'm going to carry the hot hand here. We've been talking about Lamar Jackson, how much we like him heating up. And, in the same sentence, that means Marquis Brown's heating up. So I definitely like Marquis Brown to hit the over if I had to pick here. I'm not super confident, but I do like it.
Yeah, and you got to think, with playoff implications being on the line here for the Baltimore Ravens, they're going to be very, very aggressive against this team. I mean, they're going to try to show no mercy here against the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'd feel bad to be a Bengals fan going into the last week. Marquis Brown, somebody I'm going to probably avoid because, like you said, not very confident in this. Again, he is very touchdown dependent. We got on before we did this video. He's gotten 4 touchdowns, I think, in the last 5 games, and he's just scratched the surface of going on the over of those 12 points every single time. Been very, very close to that projection. So again, I hate touchdown dependent players too, so I'm going to probably avoid this projection altogether, Kevin. Not confident either way. Giovanni Bernard at 13 points. Definitely a streaky player, but I think that's more so on the offense there. What are your thoughts on 13 points against the Baltimore Ravens?
I probably wouldn't touch that one. It's just too, I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get from him. If he gets 7 receptions on 8 targets like last game,
sure,
awesome. You know what I mean? Or if he gets his 2 touchdowns like he get the game prior, awesome. But aside from that, I mean, 8, 9, 8, 3 in carries, it's like, geez, that's not what we want to see. So
I would say this projection seems a little too high, just given the matchup here. Again, if Vegas does end up being right, and I expect that this will be a very high spread against the Cincinnati Bengals, I think that the Ravens should blow out these guys. They really should. If they don't, then they shouldn't be in the playoffs. But if they blow these guys out, I don't think that really benefits Bernard. I get that he's a check down running back, but I think this could get ugly pretty quick, and it's going to be very hard without a touchdown to hit this projection of 13 points, especially for a running back. I probably would lean towards the under if I had to guess, but again, I'm not confident either way. Another projection I'm going to probably avoid altogether, Kevin.
Didn't Samaje Perine do really well last week, too?
He did, I think he ended up being in the optimal, believe it or not. I have to go back and look at that.
So
and it was funny. One of the things was one of the major sharks tweeted out, I had Perine, he was overexposed in 5%, and he was not kidding. And he said it was by accident. So
that's crazy.
It's like, okay, well, this is why you're a shark, and this is why you have hundreds of thousands of dollars to play with, because you can do things like that and get away with it. It's like, what? But anyway, I'm gonna avoid this running back picture altogether, probably in this game. 13 points just seems a little too high for me, especially with what you just said, P. Ryan. They would be stupid to play Bernard. They have nothing to play for. I would just chalk this up as an L if I was a Cincinnati Bengals fan or coach. Mark Andrews, 13.5 points next on the list. This one just seems very accurate to me. What are your thoughts on Mark Andrews?
I think it's accurate. I mean, he has been balling out. He's great. He's been mostly touchdown dependent, but he does have some games where he's hit it without it. So I don't know. I mean, it's close. It's really close. I would assume you'd still need a touchdown. I think, what is it, 13.5?
13.5, yeah.
I think actually he has one game not hitting it, or one game of hitting it. And it was actually last game against the Giants with no touchdown.
Okay.
So you really banking on a touchdown. I mean, he's had some close ones without it, but it's only one that actually hit over. So I would definitely say you probably need a touchdown. More likely than not, he won't get a touchdown because of that. I'd probably go under.
Okay. I'm not confident either way. Our projections are giving him a 53% chance to hit the under. So if anything, I'd agree with you, Kevin. But again, way too close for comfort. Going to be another thing I'm going to avoid here. 13.5, way too accurate for me. T. Higgins, your boy. You love T. Higgins. You love these wide receivers for the Bengals. You just don't like the quarterback. What are your thoughts on T. Higgins here at 13.5?
That's a tough one, man. That is a very tough one. I mean, we saw him do really well last week.
Yeah.
But do we think he can repeat against a much, much better defense? Obviously, last week was against Houston. We kind of thought that might happen because of the favorable matchup. That's why he was so owned in at his price in Draftkings. I mean, 13.5 is a lot. I think I would personally go under.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, to be honest, against this defense and how we've seen him look, I mean, even when he had Burrow against Baltimore, he was in the under, and that's when he was still at the beginning of the year. He was still balling out, that was sandwiched in between 2 18-point games and a 21-point game. You know what I mean? So It's and that was his worst performance, and it was against Baltimore with Burrow. So take out Burrow and still same defense. I don't know. I'm a little hesitant. I'd probably go under.
Okay. I actually might disagree with you just because the game script I feel like is going to favor T. Higgins a lot in this game. They're going to get blown out. Again, I'm sticking with that projection. I hope that they do. If I don't, I'm going to look like an idiot. But T. Higgins is going to get a lot of volume this game. I feel like he should. They have nobody else. T. Higgins is obviously one of their best players on the field. 13.5. I agree with you. He might have to get a touchdown here. But again, the first time that they played the Ravens, they scored 3 points. I don't think that that's humanly possible to not score more than 3 points again. So
to emulate that again, yeah.
So I do think the game script favors him, but again, I'm not confident in saying that, but I do think he's going to hit the over if I had to pick one of the two. I think the over in 13.5. Not confident in it either way. I'm going to avoid this game completely, Kevin. I'm just going to say it. I like the projections on the Buffalo-Miami game a lot better. I think they're a lot more lower than they should be.
I like that. All right, I can buy that.
All right, let's go ahead and switch over to the quarterbacks. We have Tua at 15.5. We're talking about the Buffalo Bills-Miami game again. 15.5. What are your thoughts there?
Tua's interesting, man. I'm still. Is it bad I'm not sold yet?
No, it's not. It's just because the defense is so good. I have yet to see how good he actually is.
I think that's why. I mean, I think they have a good running game. They have a good defense, and that's not his fault.
Yeah.
But it's definitely affecting my opinion.
Sure thing.
A little bit because he's been spotty, and sometimes he's spotty because he to be a game manager and not be a quarterback.
Absolutely.
Again, win games first. That's your job.
He hasn't been bad. I will give him that.
No, he hasn't been bad. I can't discredit him for doing what he's supposed to do and win games. By the way, you see that Ryan Tannehill bomb when he got face masked?
Yes.
Not Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
You saw that?
I did.
Dude, if Mahomes made that throw, it'd be on ESPN for 6 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it would.
It's crazy. That was amazing. But yeah,
it's magic.
But yeah, Fitzmagic. But yeah, Burrow. I mean, not Burrow. Tua. I still miss Burrow if you can't tell. Tua. I mean, I think he's good. I want to see a little bit more from him. Again, he's spotty, man. He's spotty. I mean, he'll have some big games, some low games, some big games, some low games. I don't know. And I think at 15.5, it does give you a little bit of help. You kind of have to go out of his way to hit that or to go under that, especially against Buffalo, I think. So, I mean, if I had to pick, I would say over. It's just, I honestly might consider avoiding it. But I mean, 15.5 is very generously low for playing against the Bills, who have been shootouts all year long.
This is the first projection that completely agrees with the spreadsheet that I have. This is a 50-50 shot on the over and under. Yeah. 15.5 is probably the most accurate I've ever seen. I don't feel confident either way. And just like you just got to talking about, I don't know if this is going to be a game script type of game or a game managing type of game. I don't know if he's going to throw a lot. I don't know if he's just going to run a lot. I don't know if it's going to be competitive. A lot of what ifs in this game, like we have already talked about in this video. 15.5 was way too accurate. I'm completely off the train of this projection. I'm not clicking it whatsoever. Over under, not giving you guys a projection at all. Yep. Josh Allen, 23.5 seems high, but can you blame them for putting him that high? He has been an animal. 23.5 against one of the best defenses. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm going over. For sure.
Okay.
I mean, when he doesn't have a lot of games at 23.5, you know what I mean? And that's why if he's going to hit under, he's going to hit under. He's going to end up in the teens. If he's going to hit over, he's going to cruise past. He just does. I mean, like he has more 30-point games than I've seen in someone having a long time. I mean, if it wasn't for Kyler and these other people balling out, it would be, he'd be doing something no one else was doing. But we've just had a weird year of just so many good quarterbacks just getting it done. But I definitely think Josh Allen is, becoming kind of in that elite category where I feel confident saying over 23 with him. Yeah, for sure. Again, he smoked Miami the first time too. I mean, he threw for 415 and 4 touchdowns. So I think I feel pretty good about him.
59% chance to hit the over. I completely agree with you there. He is completely matchup proof at this point. He is elite. There's nothing else to say. We used to laugh at him last season. 23.5 is too low. I like him to hit the over right now. We have our projections at 26.2, so I think that's pretty accurate. Lamar Jackson, 25. I think I know what your projection is going to be. I think you're going to like the over. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Why is that?
It's Lamar. I mean, the only thing I do get concerned about is game script. I mean, we saw with Cincy last time, they smoked him so bad he didn't need to do anything. And I just hope that's not the case. But I just think he's heating up. I mean, this second half of the year has been a lot different for him. As we've seen 25, 35, 30, 22. I think he's been lights out. That is a high price point, and this could go south very fast. Like I said, if they start to get to an early lead, their defense gets the job, pick 6, fumble 6, you're going to be looking at a different game. This isn't good, but this is a team that we did talk about, Matt. Their playoffs is in their mind, so they're probably going to want to, do the best they can to give themselves the best spot in playoffs and get their team ready. But my only concern is also are they going to be hesitant to run Lamar if they don't need to for health reasons? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of factors in this one. There's a lot of factors in this one that could go to him in the over under. I still say over, but I am very, very hesitant about that.
Out of all the QBs on the board, Josh Allen is by far my favorite prize pick on the over. Everybody else, I'm so uncertain about. I mean, all these projections are very, very, very accurate. 25, again, the game script could easily go south. They could blow the doors off. And if Lamar Jackson doesn't run for 2 touchdowns, that 25 is going to be incredibly hard to hit. Like, it's if it goes south that quick. So, again, I'm avoiding Lamar Jackson. Just completely 25 is way too accurate. Brandon Allen next on the list here at 15 points. I'm assuming that's a little bit higher just because they expect him to be throwing a lot more in this game. 15 points. What are your thoughts on that? What's that?
Yeah, he balled out against Houston too. But yeah, no, I'm not. No,
just no.
Brandon Allen.
Okay.
No, just no. I'm going. I if anything, go under. I mean, it's Brandon Allen. He sucks. Straight up, and Baltimore D is good, and like I said, Burrow struggled with him. I think that doesn't necessarily mean that Burrow wouldn't come back and smoke him the next time or do well the next time, or Brandon Allen couldn't do well. But just the way Brandon Allen's playing, I don't believe it. I think he did great against a great matchup in Houston, but we also watched him have a great matchup with Dallas and do not so great. So I really don't believe Brandon Allen's probably going to hit the over on that one.
52% chance to hit the under, so I can agree with you there. I'm just not confident. 15 points, very, very accurate. Baker Mayfield, same exact story. 52% chance to hit the under as well. 17.5 projection against Pittsburgh, one of the better defenses in the NFL. However, everybody hates the Pittsburgh Steelers after everything that's been going on.
I can't believe they almost lost again.
They almost did, yeah. So 17.5 seems pretty accurate.
11-0. It's crazy.
People call them out for being overrated, and it seems like everybody is correct right now. So
and I was like defending him too, because I was like, you know what? It's football. Anything can happen. If you go undefeated, you go undefeated. I don't care what your schedule looks like. And this is kind of why, though. I mean, they just lost some bummy teams. Anything can happen. It's football. It's football at the end of the day.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Baker?
Baker, man, he's been balling out except for last game against the Jets too. I mean, he had 53 attempts, Matt. 53 attempts.
That's insane. He's been throwing a lot more lately too.
He had 8 points on 53 attempts.
Yeah.
That's just like, I don't even know what to think of. That's Baker status. That's like, that's a Baker exclusive right there.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, give me 53 attempps. I'm hitting over 10. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm hitting over 10. On DraftKings, he actually got to 10, it looks like. Are you looking at fantasy?
Okay. I'm just looking at PPR. Yeah, just PPR.
Okay.
But still, either way, that's close enough to the point where it's just that's such a bad game.
52%
I don't know,
completion percentage.
That's body all year for me, and Pitt is tough.
Yeah.
I mean, last time he played him, he got absolutely consumed by that defense. He got Pittsburgh. So, I mean, obviously their confidence is probably a little lower right now.
Yeah.
So hopefully that bodes well for him. But again, last time he played Pittsburgh, he was 10 for 18 for 100 yards and 2 picks. So
yeah, I'm leaning towards the under as well. I think Pittsburgh, again, you can think of all of these teams in this division. This is now the playoffs for them. They're going to be playing playoff level football. At least for the Browns, Ravens, and Steelers. So 17.5. I like the Steelers to show up finally, I hope, against a mediocre quarterback. I'm not ready to call Baker Mayfield good yet. 17.5 is way too accurate for me. 52% chance to hit the under. I'm going to lean towards the under, but again, not confident either way. Kirk Cousins is last on our list here. 21 points. I love my man Kirk Cousins just because everybody hates him, and he's one of the streakiest dudes out there. What are your thoughts on Kirk Cousins here against the Detroit Lions, which is the first game that we've talked about that's not one of the three?
We took him over, Matt, last week against the Saints, and he nailed it. He looked great.
Yeah.
And, he's been good. I think against the Lions, I mean, there might not be a more favorable matchup in football than the Lions right now. They are playing like a dumpster fire team. I love the Lions, but man, oh man, do they look bad. So I definitely think, that's a good smash spot for him. And it's funny, as we're looking through this, man, I'm just looking at the projections and stuff. When I look at Tua is actually becoming more attractive by the second, as I'm looking at a 15.5 for him compared to a 15 from Brandon Allen. Like, obviously I'm taking Tua.
Right.
I mean, that's against Buffalo. That's just he's a better quarterback in a better situation, like a better team. It's just, I don't know. It just makes more sense. Cousins, I like at 21. I do. I like the over. I like him. I think Tua, Josh Allen, and Kirk are my 3 favorites.
Okay. You know how much I love Kirk. I love Kirk just because everybody hates on him. I love Josh Allen because everybody hates on him. I like the contrarian plays here. But 21, man, that's just very accurate. Again, all of these quarterbacks are just so accurate with their projections. I hate it. And right now, these are the only quarterbacks we're looking at. So Prizepicks is going to put their projection extremely accurate. You guys are going to be hammering the over or unders, looking at the exact same projections. So Kirk Cousins against Detroit, just 21 is like right where I think he should be. So I'm not confident either way. Sorry if you don't like that projection, Kevin. Anyway, we will be posting more NFL content as the week goes on. I pulled up Fantasy Cruncher throughout this video, guys. You guys can see there are no Vegas odds. So we did not put a first look video out just because, again, we have no idea what's going to happen. We don't want to put out a video and then immediately come back with very stale content. So hopefully we are doing you guys a favor. We will be posting more NBA content. Prizepicks videos start tomorrow with me and Kevin. So look out for that video bright and early. Hopefully we will make some money for you guys. We have enough stats on the rotations, the usage rates, all that good stuff. We talked about it through all of our NBA videos thus far, but we will be releasing Prizepicks NBA content for the first time starting tomorrow. Hopefully you guys are excited for that, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do hit that subscription button, notification bell, and of course smash that like button for all of our future NFL and NBA content. With all that being said, have a great rest of your night, and let's cash.